Hi everyone. I just want to talk about my experience. I made videos about this a while ago, but then I took them down because I went through a situation and I thought it would be best. But anyways, I want to talk about why it's so very important to report sexual assault. And I'll tell you about my experience. Um, I've talked about this before. I was raped when I was in the military. I was 19 years old. I was raped by my then fiance's best friend. Um, he had stalked me in the barracks. He had used the master key to come into my room. And I was new, and we were taught to obey our, higher ranking, individuals that we served under, and that we were not to question anything. And that's just the way it was. So, anyways, he had come into my barracks room a couple of times and told him to leave, and he did. And when he got me alone, and he got my fiance out of the apartment, he raped me, and I didn't report. And I don't, there was a number of mitigating factors. We were all in the military. I didn't think my fiance would believe me. It was easier to sweep it under the rug and to let it go, but things happened because I didn't report. Had I reported, he would have gotten charged as an active duty U.S. Army soldier. He would have probably served time in prison. It would have been a long, hard battle because the military really doesn't believe, or didn't believe back then, that sexual assaults happen, sexual harassment happen, etc., etc. So anyways, I did not report. He subsequently went on to rape someone, a civilian, a woman who showed up, and he threatened to kill her, and it was a very vile rape. It was similar to mine, but he took it a step further, and he actually had a weapon in that one, and he served years in prison. So that's my only saving grace, is that he did serve time in prison. But because I didn't report, I carried a downgraded and broken mentality that because I had been assaulted, that I was not valuable, that I was now broken, that I was a piece of trash, that no one would ever want me. Who wants a girl that has been, used and abused by someone else? No, it's just a mindset, a mentality when it comes to women's sexuality. So my choices, as a result of my rape, led me to choose men who devalued me, who abused me, and so on and so forth. So had I reported, he may not have gone on to rape someone else, although I can't take responsibility for his actions. Had I reported, and had I gotten into therapy back then, which it would have been hard because the military didn't recognize anything about MST until of recent years, I could have gotten my mind, body, spirit, emotions, heart, etc. I could have started healing, and I could have gone through the long and arduous process of facing this person in court. I could have released it sooner, and I could have started my healing process many, many years ago. So it's not just that we prevent a subsequent rape from happening. It's that it's not for the benefit of the rapist, and it's not necessarily just to get them prosecuted. It's to release us from being imprisoned along with them. And that's just the way it is. When you're raped, you're imprisoned, and you are locked up in a cell, and you basically can't get free. There's and then because you don't allow it to flow, and you don't heal from it, and you don't talk about it, it gets stuck, and you have many, many stuck points in your life. And you learn about that if you go through CPT, which is cognitive processing therapy. So all I know is that I didn't report. I found out about the subsequent rape 10 years after mine. I asked the person who told me about his subsequent assault, do you know where he's at? Can you get me the court records? And that person said, no, I don't know where he's at, etc., etc. My ex-fiance, his best friend, claimed he didn't know where he was. And then I started talking about it 20 years after the fact, which is past the statutes. Started going to the VA, started reporting, started filing for my MST, PTSD claim, and it wasn't until last year that I found the affidavit from the assault. Found out that I did report with the Fort Lewis Police Department and Lakewood Police Department because it happened off base. Found out my ex-fiance and his then wife, or they're divorced now, they had been friends with him this entire time and they knew where he was. So you find out a lot when you start reporting. And then I did face him in court. It took almost 30 years and he denied it. Denied. His lawyer stated that my claims were outrageous. It was really quite something. So anyways, it took 30 years. I finally went through it, and slowly but surely I am taking the steps to heal, to talk, to release, to rebuild, to put my heart back together, to put my mind, body, and spirit back together, to revamp my thought process, and really do whatever it takes to not live in bondage or continue to be imprisoned by this act of violence. And my saving grace is that he did serve time in prison. Thank God. That gives me a little bit of something. Another thing is the military told me that had he been collecting benefits through the VA for disability or PTSD or anything, they could have brought him back on active duty status and charged him as an active duty soldier. But not only did they substantiate my claim and add it to his file with, I think it was Pierce County, because of the charge, which has been substantiated and found valid and true, I was told he will never ever get benefits through the VA because of this charge. So I'm not saying that all of that is the outcome that I was thinking, but the best outcome out of all of this is I regained my voice and I told my truth. I was believed in a courtroom. I was believed by the VA, and a judge heard me and believed me, and I had my day in court. It's not the day in court I thought I was going to have, because it just wasn't. It was kind of flipped around, and I've talked about that before too, but I just wanted to say that if you are assaulted, harmed, sexually harassed, etc., don't be silent about it. The reason people keep offending is because they know that people stay silent because of the shame, the guilt, the disbelief, the fact that no one will believe them. It's one of these situations that where if a woman has a voice, she is less likely to be a victim of an assault. So our job is to speak up, to empower our sons and daughters, and to do whatever it takes to stop these perpetrators in their tracks so that they don't go on to offend and have multiple victims. So anyways, just want to talk about that. If you have an opportunity to use your voice, please do so. Life is too short, and that's just the way it is. So I'll talk more about this at another time, but use your voice, speak up. If you have to, practice with someone else on learning how to use your voice. If you haven't used your voice before, if you were raised in a family to be polite, silent, say yes, do what people tell you, etc. Listen to authority, use your voice, because you do have one. Speak out, write it down, scream it out, blog about it, do whatever it takes. Tell one person, and keep talking until someone believes you. So anyways, that's all I know. I hope everyone's having a good day, and if anyone has any questions, please post below. I will do my best to respond and do whatever it takes to help other people heal. But I'm still in my healing process. It's a lifelong journey, and that's it. So I hope everyone has a great day. Bye-bye.